Catelyn still breaks when the news from Winterfell reaches Riverrun. Bran and Rickon are reported dead, Theon has taken the castle, and her daughters remain in Lannister hands. But she does not free Jaime. She lets the grief pass through her before it becomes a decision. Jaime remains in the Riverrun cells, guarded by Tully men, northern spears, and men who lost sons at the Whispering Wood. That single restraint changes Robb's war. Jaime never rides south with Brienne, never loses his sword hand to Vargo Hoat, and never returns to King's Landing half remade by humiliation. He stays exactly what Tywin fears most, the golden son alive, valuable, and unreachable. Robb now holds the one prisoner Casterly Rock cannot replace. Sansa is trapped in King's Landing, Arya is missing, Winterfell has fallen, and the Riverlands are burning, but Robb still has leverage powerful enough to make Tywin hesitate. The war does not become safer, it becomes sharper, because every Lannister move now has Jaime's life tied to it. Hello everyone, and welcome to Storyteller's Codex. Here we delve deep into the rich lore of the Lord of the Rings, a song of ice and fire, and the vast worlds beyond, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Rickard Karstark still wants blood. His sons died when Jaime tried to cut his way through Robb's guard, and the sight of Jaime alive in chains eats at him every day. The difference is that Robb can now control the anger instead of being destroyed by it. He promises Rickard a public judgment after the war, with the Northern Lords present and the charge spoken openly: murder of Stark men, escape attempt, and blood debt for the Karstark dead. That promise is not mercy, it is discipline. Rickard does not murder Willem Lannister and Jon Frey, so Robb does not execute him, and the Karstark cavalry does not abandon the army. This also changes Rose Bolton's calculations. A fractured Robb can be betrayed cheaply. A Robb who still commands Karstarks, Umbers, Mormonts, Glovers, Tallhearts, Riverlords, and the Blackfish is dangerous. The Red Wedding needs desperation, insult, and weakness. Jaime staying in chains removes one of those pillars. Walder Frey may still be offended, but Robb is no longer crawling to the twins as a broken king. Tywin can lose camps, castles, and bannermen without losing control, but Jaime is different. Jaime is the son he means to restore to Casterly Rock, the face of Lannister power, the knight every Western lord recognises as the future of the house. Tyrion is useful, Cersei is politically placed, but Jaime is the heir Tywin's pride refuses to abandon. Robb starts using that truth with precision. Ravens go west with formal terms: release Sansa, return Arya if found, recognise Northern and Riverland claims, and halt the devastation of the Trident, or Jaime's fate will be placed before a Northern court. The letters are copied to the Krieg, Ashmark, Golden Tooth, Lannisport, and even King's Landing. Robb wants every Western lord asking the same question: is Tywin protecting House Lannister, or gambling its golden son for pride? Tyrion understands the danger immediately. Cersei does not. She demands rescue. Tywin says nothing, because Robb has found the one battlefield where silence makes him look weak. Robb turns the Ironborn crisis into bait. Theon has struck Winterfell, Deepwood Motte is threatened, Moat Cailin matters, and Balon Greyjoy believes the North is exposed. Robb lets the realm hear what it expects. The young wolf is marching home, taking Jaime with him, and abandoning the Riverlands before the Ironborn carve the North apart. The story is made convincing. Riverlords complain loudly about being left behind. Supply wagons move toward the twins. Scouts are allowed to escape with half-truths. Mage Mormont and Galbart Glover help carry messages through hidden routes, while the Blackfish keeps the real cavalry screened. The bait works because Tywin cannot let Jaime vanish beyond the neck. Once Jaime is north of Moat Cailin, behind swamps, crannogmen, winter roads, and loyal castles, no normal rescue is possible. Tywin begins shifting eyes and riders toward the route north. Frey Pride, Bolton Caution, and Lannister Fear all start turning toward the wrong road. Robb has made his retreat look like panic, when it is really a trap. Robb's real army moves west, not the whole host, and not the slow baggage train everyone expects. He takes the best riders, hardened Northmen, River Scouts, selected Tully strength, and Grey Wind's terror ahead of them. The Blackfish shapes the march like a hunting net. Edmure keeps enough men near Riverrun to make the Riverlands look defended but wounded. Jaime is moved under heavy guard with the real strike force, not as dead weight, but as a living key. Robb has already proved at Oxcross that Western commanders underestimate his speed. Now he repeats the lesson with a larger prize. Ashmark, the Crag, and the roads toward Lannisport become pressure points. Foragers vanish, ravens are intercepted. Lannister patrols find wolf banners where they expected Riverlord remnants. Robb is not trying to trade Jaime from weakness. He's carrying Jaime into the Westerlands to force Tywin to defend everything at once. The Capital Alliance, the Riverlands front, Lannisport's wealth, the gold roads, and the son whose life holds the family together. Casterly Rock is almost impossible to storm from the front, so Robb attacks its world before he attacks its walls. Lannisport's docks, warehouses, counting houses, gold convoys, and lesser castles become targets. He does not need to burn the city into ash. He needs every merchant, captain, miner, and bannerman to feel that Tywin failed to protect the West. The Westerlings become useful, because local knowledge matters more than grand banners. The Mallisters and river captains threaten coastal movement. Northern raiders strike roads leading to the mines. Then Robb does the cruelest thing he can do without killing Jaime. He shows him. Jaime is brought under guard within sight of Western banners. Still alive, still golden, still chained. The message spreads faster than a raven. Robb Stark has Tywin's heir on Western soil. If the Rock shuts its gates and waits, Jaime remains a prisoner outside his own inheritance. If Tywin rushes back blindly, he abandons the wider war. The West is not conquered yet, but its confidence cracks. Tywin realises the shape of the trap after Robb has already forced the war into Lannister land. He moved to prevent a northern withdrawal, but the wolf has crossed into the west. Now Tywin must choose what he hates choosing, family or position. King's Landing still needs him. Joffrey is unstable, Cersei is frantic, Tyrion is trying to keep the city alive, and the Tyrell alliance requires careful handling after the Blackwater. But Casterly Rock and Lannisport cannot be left under Stark pressure while Jaime sits in chains nearby. Tywin sends ravens, recalls riders, and orders Western strength to concentrate without giving Robb a clean battle. Jaime makes every order worse. If Tywin delays, he looks cold even to his own bannermen. If he charges, Robb can threaten execution. If he negotiates, he admits the young wolf has forced him to the table. This is the kind of war Tywin despises, because it is not clean arithmetic. Robb has turned Lannister love, pride, inheritance, and fear into terrain. Jaime's absence also poisons King's Landing. Cersei has no restored twin, no private rescuer, no sword beside her in the Red Keep. Tyrion cannot plan around Jaime's return, and Tywin cannot use Jaime as proof that the Lannisters survived the Stark humiliation. Joffrey still sits the throne after the Blackwater, but the victory looks less complete while the Kingslayer remains chained. Mace Tyrell sees leverage, Olenna sees weakness. Margaery's rise still strengthens the crown, but the Tyrells understand that Tywin is bargaining from a wound he cannot show. Varys hears every whisper. Littlefinger measures every delay. Sansa's value increases because she is one of the few pieces that can be traded against Jaime, but Robb will not accept empty promises. Cersei pushes for a reckless rescue or the murder of Stark hostages. Tyrion argues that killing Sansa destroys the only bridge left. Tywin is forced to manage court politics while his real heir is displayed in the West. The Iron Throne survives, but Lannister certainty does not. The northern danger is still real. Balon Greyjoy holds to his raids, Theon has shattered Winterfell's safety, and the Ironborn threaten Deepwood Motte, the Stony Shore, and Moat Cailin. Robb cannot ignore that forever, but the political collapse that destroyed him is slower here. Rose Bolton still watches for profit, but betraying Robb while Jaime is alive creates a terrible risk. If the young wolf dies too soon, Jaime may be killed by loyal Northmen or hidden beyond recovery. Walder Free still wants payment for the broken marriage, but a stronger Robb with Karstark cavalry and Tywin's son is not an easy victim. Even the Karstarks remain inside the army, because Rickard has not crossed the line into murder. Robb's position is dangerous, not doomed. He can send riders north, use Riverlord garrisons to hold crossings, and bargain with the Freys from strength instead of shame. The Ironborn bleed the north, but they no longer automatically create the chain of weakness that leads Robb to the twins. The war now balances on Jaime Lannister's life. Robb has not won everything. Winterfell is damaged, the Ironborn remain dangerous, Tywin still commands the West, and King's Landing still has the Tyrells, the Crown, and the machinery of law. But the young wolf is no longer losing one piece after another. He has kept the Karstarks, avoided the desperate Frey trap, carried the war into the Westerlands, and forced Tywin to defend his own blood on hostile ground. Jaime becomes the question every faction must answer. Trade him for Sansa and Northern recognition, judge him publicly for the blood spilled at the Whispering Wood, keep him chained until Casterly Rock bends, kill him if Tywin refuses every term. None of these choices are clean, and that is why the hostage matters. Catelyn not freeing Jaime does not make Robb safe. It gives him time, unity, and the one weapon Tywin cannot dismiss. The war becomes a siege of Lannister pride, and the final question is simple. Can Tywin save Jaime without losing the West? If you're interested in The Lord of the Rings or A Song of Ice and Fire, click one of the links on the screen to dive deeper into the lore. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.